BTC Reaper. My goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading, whether the price is going up or down. Over on Bitcoin dominance for the daily, it does look like we are forming a symmetrical triangle possibility here. This could end up being a bear pendant as it is coming from this push down here. And that bear pendant can break that value area high. Remember, if we start seeing some bearish momentum here on Bitcoin dominance, that means altcoins likely are going to make a run up. That VWAP is starting to favor more bearishly. We have lower highs with the lower lows, so watch for that to continue. If that momentum continues to drop away with our VWAP, money flow will stay in the red, and we will continue to see dominance weaken. That's not to say Bitcoin can't gain, but it will mean that altcoins would outpace Bitcoin finally. Over on total for the daily, our VWAP is pushing up, stochastic's gaining strength, our momentum is pushing up, and the money flow is in the green. So if that VWAP can maintain a bullish push here, then we could continue to push forward. But if that VWAP starts to taper off, I would just watch our lower time frames, make sure they don't favor bearishly. Over on the 1 hour, we are somewhat going sideways, may be able to draw a symmetrical triangle if we continue to kind of bounce around here. So I would watch out. Remember, a symmetrical triangle can bring you down, but coming from a push up could also push us up and potentially give us that retest of that 936. Our VWAP is starting to favor more bearishly, but now we are seeing a push up. So if that VWAP can stay above that neutral, then momentum will remain bullish, money flow will remain green, and this daily would gain some strength, and we would be able to see further strong green candles. Again, we don't want to see just strong green candle after strong green candle. You don't want to push up too quick because remember, when you get a quick push up, usually you do get a push down. And if that push down is quick, you can get another push up and that can create that volatility that we're used to. So, over on Bitcoin futures for the daily, it does look like we have a third gap to the downside. So we have three things with the 80% probability that we would break down. That says to me that we have a high probability of breaking down, but take it as you will. VWAP does want to push up, momentum is gaining strength, stochastic's pushing forward, and the RSI is bullish, so we do look positive. But again, with those gaps, I would just watch for the sustainability of this push. We probably are going to push like 91k worse. That's where that gap bottom of our gap is, but we do have those other two gaps that would be support levels, like around that 97k, and I don't see the other gap here on the 1 hour, but if we zoom to the daily, that's about that 102 to about 101k. So we have quite a few gaps here. VWAP is trying to favor bullish after breaking and favoring bearish, but despite that bearish push on that VWAP, we did not lose price momentum very much. That momentum did remain bullish, so if we continue to see a stronger high with higher lows here, we could still see another leg up, and our MPP is projecting a push to about 106. There's a 63% probability, but again, if we continue just shooting up and creating these gaps, I would say that at some point we are going to retrace, whether that be the end of the bull market into the bear market or sometime into the bull market. So remember, it's going to be hard to kind of try and time that exactly, and don't try and time the market. It's more time in the market. If you're trying to time the market, most of the time you're going to get wrecked. You never want to be all in or all out. But over on Bitcoin for the daily, our VWAP does have a higher high, pushing momentum forward and giving money flow strength. So overall, we do look positive here. Over on the 1 hour, it does look like we have some consolidation after a push up. So this could create a bull flag. A bull flag in this area would attempt to pump us forward. But again, watch for that futures gap. That futures gap could try to break us down afterwards. I would say this flag could try to break us up toward 108k, but the MPP is laying out about 105. Remember, we could go beyond that and we could stop short. You don't want to go for the max pain or max gain in either scenario. But that VWAP is starting to push down. We do have a higher high, so watch for a higher low. If we get a higher low on that VWAP, our momentum will continue to push up and money flow could remain green as long as we get a higher high after getting that higher low. Over on graph for the daily, it does look like we are retesting that 11 cent range. So we have been saying that was a possibility the last several days. VWAP is pushing up, stochastic is pushing up, RSI is gaining strength, and the money flow is in the green. So we do look positive for a continuation, but remember that's going to be providing lower time frames can remain bullish. Over on the 1 hour, we are struggling to hold above our resistance area of that 1169. If we cannot hold above this soon, then I would say there is a higher chance of us breaking down, and the MPP does project a high chance of pushing down to 10 cents. Momentum is pushing down to our VWAP favoring bearish. Right now, that VWAP does have a higher low, though, so watch if we can break and hold that neutral. If we can, then momentum could bounce, money flow can remain green, and we could get a push up to the value area low, right around that 12,964. But if this VWAP rejects in the next few hours, then it would be more likely that we could continue lower. Over on XRP for the daily, looks like we did try to pump forward to about 242, so that was that previous consolidation range from back there. Our stochastic is pushing up, our VWAP is gaining strength, money flow is pushing up, and momentum is pushing forward. So the daily does look positive for a continuation, and the VWAP or the MPP does project that we could push to that 272, 273 range. So that would be positive, that would be retesting this consolidation range right back there. Over on the 1 hour, I would watch though. Remember, if the rest of the market pulls back, XRP likely would as well. But over on the 1 hour, RSI is starting to curl away as that stochastic is favoring bearish with a bearish cross. So watch for that to continue. If it continues, then it's likely we would continue lower. VWAP is starting to favor bearish, rejecting that neutral, so we have a lower high with this lower low, giving us a bearish trend, weakening that momentum, and if that continues, money flow will break into the red, and higher time frames would reject, and there is a probability of us pushing down to about that 225, 224, and if we can't hold there, revisiting that $2, 210 range. Over on Anchor for the daily, this could be our breakout, providing the rest of the market continues forward. So we'll grab this pole, move it over here, and that could be a break of around that 25 cents like we've been saying. VWAP is pushing forward, momentum is gaining strength, money flow is in the green, so we do look positive for the daily, but we are coming into major resistance here. If you look, right around this 21.19, we have resistance here, and support here. I'm sure there's more if we went back further in history as well. Over on the 1 hour, we did just make a straight shot forward. So remember, when you get a quick move up, usually you do end up retracing. So if you do have some profits, you may want to consider some if you took the risk buying in down here. But that VWAP is starting to struggle. We do technically have a higher low and a higher high, but they are very weak. That VWAP is kind of just riding along that neutral line. When it starts to ride along that neutral line, that does signal we may see a trend reversal, and that trend would become bearish. So watch our total and watch the next few hours. That VWAP, if it does reject and get a lower high, could end up pushing into a bearish trend, which would push momentum lower, weakening that money flow, and potentially weakening higher time frames if that sustains. Ideally, we would hit this 20-cent range, get a retest, make a bounce, and continue forward with the rest of the market, though. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a great night. Hit the like and subscribe, and join us in that Discord.